It was a blistering summer afternoon in Texas when the old man shuffled into the bus station, clutching a worn-out hat and a small leather bag that had seen better days. His clothes were clean but faded, and his boots had long lost their shine. He approached the counter with trembling hands, counting the few crumpled bills he had left. The clerk, a young woman who had seen all sorts of travelers, smiled politely, but when he told him the price of the ticket, his face fell. He didn't have enough. Sitting a few rows away, a tall cowboy leaned back in his seat, watching the scene unfold. His name was Luke Carson, a rancher from Amarillo, broad-shouldered and sun-tanned. The king of men was workman summiting and was silent said even more. He had come to town after selling a few head of cattle, waiting for a late bus headed north. He watched as the old man hesitated, whispering that he just needed to jet to Dallas to see someone, his voice heavy with emotion. The clerk shook her head sadly. Luke stood, adjusted his hat, and walked over. "Ma'am," he said quietly, pulling a few bills from his wallet, "add his ticket to mine." The old man turned in surprise, his blue eyes widening. "Son, I can't let you do that," he said, his voice trembling. "I'll find a way," Luke smiled faintly. "Ain't no trouble, sir. I've had worse days than this. Consider it done." He handed over the money and tipped his hat. The old man's lips quivered as he tried to speak, but the words didn't come. He simply reached out a hand. Luke shook it firmly, feeling the frail strength of years in the man's grip. "You're a good man," the old fellow murmured. "My daughters always said there were still decent folks in this world." Guess they were right. The bus station was quiet except for the hum of old fans and the distant sound of traffic. Luke sat back down, not expecting anything in return. He had been raised that way. His father always told him that when you see someone in need, you don't look away. Life had a way of circling back, good or bad. A few minutes later, as Luke waited by the vending machine with a cup of lukewarm coffee, he heard hurried footsteps. Two young women burst into the station, breathless and sun-flushed from running. They were beautiful, one with chestnut hair tied back with a ribbon, the other with golden curls tumbling over her shoulders. Their eyes searched the room frantically until they spotted the old man near the ticket counter. "Daddy," the younger one cried out. She rushed to him, throwing her arms around his neck. The elder sister followed, tears already streaming down her face. Luke stood a little to the side, not wanting to intrude, but he couldn't help noticing the way their voices cracked with relief and joy. "Where have you been?" asked the elder daughter. "We were so worried." The old man chuckled softly, patting her hand. "Just a little dilly, darling. But I'm fine now, thanks to a kind stranger." He turned to gesture toward Luke. Both women looked up, following his gaze. When their eyes met his, Luke felt a sudden stillness, like the whole station had paused. The chestnut-haired woman walked over first. "You're the one who helped our father?" she asked. Luke nodded modestly. "Didn't do much, just bought a ticket." Her lips parted into a grateful smile. "You don't know what that means to us. We've been trying to bring him home ever since he left the hospital. We thought he wouldn't make it here." Her eyes glistened. "You didn't have to do that, but you did." The younger sister joined them, her smile as warm as the sunlight streaming through the dusty window. "Daddy's all we've got," she said. "You brought him back to us." Luke tipped his hat again, embarrassed by their gratitude. "Just glad he's all right," he said quietly. The old man, now sitting down, watched the exchange with misty eyes. "You see, girls," he said, his voice rough with emotion, "the world still has good men. Don't you forget that." The next bus wasn't due for another half hour, so the trio of them insisted Luke sit with them. They shared stories, how their mother had passed years ago, how the girls had moved to Dallas for work, and how their father, too proud to ask for help, had tried to make the trip alone. The younger daughter, Lily, was a teacher, her sister, Claire, worked as a nurse. Luke found himself smiling more than he had in weeks. There was something easy about talking to them, something gentle. Claire had a calm, steady way of speaking, while Lily was all lighter and sparkle, teasing her father for trying to travel without telling them. When the bus finally arrived, Luke helped carry their bags. The old man insisted he sit near them for the ride. Horace rallied by as the Texas plains stretched endlessly outside the window, fields of gold and green fading under the setting sun. The conversation drifted from small talk to deeper things. Claire asked about the ranch, about his life out west, about whether he was married. Luke chuckled softly. Had a fancy honest, he said. As left when times got hard. Figured I was too married to the land. Claire looked at him thoughtfully. Some people don't understand what roots mean. My mom used to say that real strength is quiet. You've got that look. Luke wasn't used to compliment us, and her words stayed with him long after the conversation moved on. By the time they reached Dallas, night had fallen, and the old man was dozing peacefully. The daughter thanked Luke again, and Claire pressed a folded note into his hand before stepping off the bus. Just a thank you, he said softly, for helping us find our dad again. When he opened it later, standing alone on the dark platform, it wasn't money, just a short letter. If you were come through Dallas again, it read, you've got friends waiting for you, Claire and Lily. Months passed. Ranch work was hard, the kind that left no time for thinking. But sometimes, when the stars were out and the fields were quiet, Luke would remember that day. The way the old man's hand had gripped his. The way the daughters had smiled through tears. And that letter, he kept it in his jacket pocket, folded carefully, the edges worn smooth. One cold autumn morning, he finally rode into Dallas. He didn't know what made him do it, maybe it was loneliness, maybe something deeper. He stopped by the address written on the back of the note. It was a small white house with a porch carved in morning glories. The door opened before he could knock. Claire stood there, surprise flashing across her face before he broke into a smile. You come, he said simply. Figured I await that visit, Luke replied. From inside, he heard Lily's laughter and the sound of the old man's voice. Claire invited him in. The warmth hit him instantly, the smell of coffee, the sound of home. The old man rose to greet him, steadying himself on a cane. Didn't think I'd see you again, son, he said, his voice strong despite his age. Luke smiled. Didn't think it'd be back either. Dinner was filled with laughter, stories, and a kind of peace Luke hadn't felt in years. As he left that night, the moonlight silvered the porch, and Claire walked him to the gate. Thank you again, he said softly. Not just for that day, but for coming back. Luke looked into her eyes and realized something. Sometimes life doesn't repay you with riches or fame. Sometimes, it gives you people who make the world feel whole again. He tipped his hat, smiled, and said, guess the ticket I bought that day to come a lot farther than I thought, and as he rode away down the quiet street, he knew he had found something worth returning to.